Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going back to the year 1996 and digging into the reason that Heidi Swedberg was written out of Seinfeld. When Seinfeld debuted on NBC in the summer of 1989, it was initially called The Seinfeld Chronicles. However, the name was quickly shortened to just Seinfeld. It would run for 9 seasons and become one of the most popular television sitcoms of all time. Heidi Swedberg joined the cast in 1992 and would be in a number of episodes from 92 through 1997. Before appearing in Seinfeld, she had made appearances in quite a few movies and TV shows including Matlock, 30-something, Kindergarten Cop, Hot Shots, and Northern Exposure. However, her first major role was as Susan Ross in NBC Seinfeld. On Seinfeld, she played an executive with NBC when Jerry Seinfeld and his best friend George Costanza, played by Jason Alexander, make their pitch to the studio for a show about nothing. Susan and George later start dating and have an on-again, off-again relationship. Ultimately, George decides to propose to Susan, and the two are engaged. At the time that this happened, I remember thinking that their relationship wouldn't last. All of the main characters of the show were just meant to be single. What I didn't know was that apparently much of the cast of Seinfeld were apparently finding Swedberg difficult to work with. Apparently, back in the 2015 interview with Howard Stern, Jason Alexander mentioned this and stated that Julia Louis-Dreyfus had even joked that she just wanted to kill her after a scene she had with Swedberg that hadn't gone as well as she would have liked. According to Alexander, both Seinfeld and Larry David heard that statement, and then Larry David then proclaimed that they absolutely had to kill the character off. Once they made that decision, it doesn't seem like it took too long to do it. Although, I will say that her character was killed off in one of the most unique methods I've ever seen in a television show. As anyone who's watched Seinfeld knows, George Costanza was rather frugal at times, and they end up buying the cheapest wedding invitations they could find. And unlike the more expensive options, the envelopes that accompany these invitations are not self-adhesive. And so, the character of Susan Ross met her demise by poisoning after licking all of the envelopes for their wedding invitations. Now here's the rub. Jason Alexander says he feels terrible for what he said on the Howard Stern show and has tried to add some additional context. He now says that he very much likes Swedberg personally and considers her to be talented, but was concerned her sense of humor and comedic style contrasted with that of the regular Seinfeld cast. He initially worried this would come across poorly, but eventually realized that her performance worked to the show's advantage, as Susan was not conceived as being a bad person, merely one who just didn't fit in with the Seinfeld gang. Regardless, Heidi Swedberg's acting career continued on for a few years after Seinfeld, but it appears that she perhaps retired from acting around 2010. These days, she can be found pursuing another labor of love. Since 2016, she's been playing ukulele and tours with her eclectic folk music act, Heidi Swedberg and the Suki Jump Band. I've got to say, it really makes me happy seeing her doing something that she loves. I thought that Heidi Swedberg was great on Seinfeld and that Susan Ross was a great character. What are your thoughts? I really look forward to reading your comments. Also, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel where I talk about music, TV, and movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.